Hello, and welcome to Let's Play Advance Wars. In this video, we're going to be tackling Campaign Mission 4. Looks like we got a new character here. It's a beefy-looking dude with blue hair and blue face paint. He says, "Sorry to keep you waiting!" Andy says, "Who are you?" Blue hair guy says, "I'm Max, a CO in the Orange Star Army. I was ordered to join you in Sode Runs, so here I am." Andy says, "A new CO, huh? What's so special about you?" Max says, "You get right to the point, don't you, brother? I'm the king of direct combat. Need someone to mix it up? I'm the best. When I really get rolling, Max Force boosts my firepower even higher." Andy says, "Cool." Max says, "I'm not saying I'm perfect, but why focus on the negatives, right? Hey, Sode Runs! It's time to choose a CO for the next battle. Use the control pad to make your selection." Alright. So, notice how the battle seems to be in a different location on the overworld screen, depending on whether I select Andy or Max. Whenever the game does this, it means that you get a different battle or different scenario, depending on who you pick. If I pick Andy, the battle is going to be in the north of Blue Moon, and if I pick Max, it's going to be in the south. But there's more. Depending on who I pick here, I actually get a completely different set of missions for the next 4 missions. Andy will take a northern path through Blue Moon territory, and missions 4 through 7 will be completely different than if I pick Max. Likewise, if I pick Max, the route will be more southerly, and missions 4 through 7 will be completely different than if I pick Andy. That's why the mission number in the video title and the title screen is 4M. This means Mission 4 along the Max path, or the southern path. After I finish missions 4 through 7 along the Max path, my plan is to reload a previous save and do the Andy path versions of missions 4 through 7. So selecting the southerly route, Max says, "This route looks tough," and my opponent is Olaf either way. Max says, "Here I go!" Mission 4, Max Strikes. Day 1. Nell says, "Well, hello, Max. You're here to help too?" Max says, "How you doing, Nell? Now that I'm here, what's the kid gonna do?" Nell says, "Oh, Max, you haven't changed a bit. But I must tell you, Andy's quite a capable CO. If you're not careful, he might just pass you up. See you later. Good luck." Alright. Campaign Mission 4M. Let's go to the intel screen and read the terms. Nell says, "Win by capturing the enemy HQ or by defeating all the enemy troops. I'm counting on you, Sode Runs." Now let's go to intel and do our CO briefing. So I'm playing as Max. Direct combat units have high firepower. Distance units are weak and have small attack ranges. Max is dependable and brave, overprotective of Sammy and Andy. We haven't met Sammy yet. Hit, weight training. Miss, studying. And for his quote, "Now it's my turn!" His CO power is called Max Force. It increases all abilities of direct combat units. Alright, let's talk about Max's stats. So, I'm not going to mince words. I'm not going to equivocate. Max is the best CO in Advance Wars 1, and it's not even close. His stats are ludicrously overpowered. Let's go ahead and look at the negatives first, because he's not perfect. The big negative with Max is that his indirect combat units are garbaggio. Indirect units have a 10% attack penalty, They have 1 less firing range. So infantry shoots 2, rockets and missiles shoot 4, and battleships shoot 5. And strangely enough, indirect units also have a 10% defense penalty. And Max is one of the only COs in the game who actually has a day-to-day defense penalty. Max's infantry, infantry and mechs have normal stats. Alright, so now let's talk about Max's direct combat units. These are the Recon, Tank, Medium Tank, Anti-Air, Battlecopter, Fighter Bomber, Sub, and Cruiser. Direct combat units have a day-to-day attack bonus of 50%. 50%! It is hard to state how overpowered this is. 50% is nuts. It's just crazy. And it's not just land units, it's also air units and naval units. Max has better air units than Eagle, the air power CO. 50%. 50%. And then there's his CO power. The CO power is called Max Force. It's cheap. It costs 30,000. The same as Andy, Grit, and Olaf. So first of all, it gives his units 1 extra movement for a turn. That all by itself is a pretty big advantage. This applies to all units except infantry and indirects. So it includes transports, which previously didn't get any kind of bonus day to day. And then there's the attack bonus. 87% attack bonus. Almost double the attack power for 1 turn. The 50% day-to-day was silly enough, but 87% is actual insanity. Tanks, planes, battlecopters can easily one-shot enemy units, even if they're on good terrain. And remember, they move 1 space farther. It's total madness. You might be wondering why it's a random number like 87%. This actually has to do with how Advance Wars calculates attack bonuses. So the true number is supposed to be 70%. And if you think mathematically, how do you express 70% bonus? You express it as a multiplier of 1.7. So Max's damage is supposed to be multiplied by 1.7. But remember that during CO powers, all COs in the game receive a 10% attack and 10% defense bonus. So the 1.7 is actually multiplied by 1.1. And if you pull out your slide rules, kids, 1.7 times 1.1 equals 1.87, also known as 87%. So yeah, Max is the best CO in the game, significantly better than the game's main villain, who we haven't seen yet. The game designers seem to realize this, and Max's powers are considerably nerfed in later games. But even after a heavy nerfing, he's still one of the best COs in all 3 games. There's Max. Let's get to the battle. Take a look at this map real quick. It's a pretty simple map. The southwest side of it is a giant open bay. I start with a battleship and 2 submarines. Olaf starts with 4 battleships. I start with a pretty good land army, 2 medium tanks, 2 regular tanks, some artillery and rockets, which are going to suck, and some infantry. Max starts with somewhat more land units. He's got 2 medium tanks and I think 4 little tanks. 2 artilleries and 1 rocket. Neither side has any kind of production facilities of any kind. So the first thing we're going to do is check to see where Olaf's battleships can shoot. I'm going to take my submarine and sail it right up to Olaf's battleship and torpedo it right in the face. Now, submarines are direct combat units, so Max gets a 50% bonus on submarine damage. Normally this value here is 55%, but it's 82% with Max. So the submarine is going to basically take this battleship out of action with one strike. Now if I look at Max's battleship attack range, we notice that it sucks. It's one space less. You can only shoot 2 to 5 rather than 2 to 6, like a normal battleship would. I'm going to take my other submarine and sail it into the middle of the bay and dive it. Olaf has no way of attacking my submarines when they're dived. No way whatsoever. So they're completely impervious if they're below the surface. I'm going to take my battleship and actually move it one space up to be out of firing range of Olaf's battleship. I'll take my medium tank and go straight up to Olaf's medium tank and smack it around a little bit. Reduces it to 1 HP. I take no damage on counterattack. Take my medium, or rather my small tank, put him in the forest, shoot at the Olaf tank on the city. Wow. Reduces it to 4, mine stays at 9. Take my tank, move it up, shoot at Olaf's tank on the forest. Reduce it to 3, reduces mine to 9. So in one turn, I've basically crippled his forward contingent of tanks. I have a second medium tank, so I'm going to move that up. And then I do need to be careful with my artillery units because I don't want them to die. It's going to give me a bad score. And, you know, I don't want my guys to die either. Before I move them up, let's take a look at their ranges. Prepare to laugh when you see the artillery range. It's supposed to be 2 to 3, but it's actually just 2. So it's this completely useless, awkward diamond surrounding the artillery. Not great. It's not good. But I can like set up a little trap where I put the rocket here and maybe put the artillery here to cover the rocket. I'm going to take my infantry and load it into the lander. And what are we going to do with this lander? Let's put the lander here to be out of battleship range. And I am going to try for an HQ cap, but I might be able to kill all of Olaf's units first before the HQ cap. I'm going to move up my mechs. The battleship might shoot at the mechs. It might not. Let's see what happens. Move up my APC with an infantry. And that's going to be the end of turn 1. I inflicted enough damage on Olaf that he's going to use his power next turn. Here we go, day 1 for Olaf. Olaf says, "Ha ha ha ha! Behold, gaze upon my beautiful army. Orange Star may match me in numbers, but I have so much more power. Ho 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 ho!" Grit is here. Grit says, "But you're not very well balanced. What if the enemy sends its subs under? That'll stop you cold." Olaf just ignores him, says, "Battleships at sea, medium tanks on land. Is there anything more I need? No, nothing at all. Attack, attack, attack! Ho 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 ho!" Grit says, "Well, as long as you're happy, boss." "The spirits of winter have blessed my army." Olaf casts his CO power, Blizzard. Now it's snowing. He's going to shoot at my APC with his 2 hit point battleship. It's not going to do much. Reduces the APC to 9. He's bringing his 4 HP tank to shoot at my rockets, reducing it to 7. Not doing much else with his units. moving his battleships up a little bit. Alright. I'm going to use my pathetically weak artillery to finish off this tank, which it's still strong enough to do that, at least. Boom. Bombardment. And my rocket can't hit anything because it only has a range of, what is this, 3 to 4 spaces. Let's see if I can one-shot the artillery. No, not quite. Go ahead and annihilate this artillery on the road. 141% damage from the damage indicator. Oh, man. Trying to stay out of artillery range here. Bring out my other medium tank to just cut this infantry down on the road. Destroys it in one hit. Move my 9 hit point tank up. Take my 9 hit point tank, the other one, and finish off Olaf's 3 hit point tank. I'll use this infantry to start capturing the city here. If I put the mech... Damn. I don't want this battleship to be able to destroy anything, so I'm just gonna move stuff out of range. Move my rocket up. Olaf's infantry might shoot at it, but I don't really care. Down here on the naval battle, I'm going to take my submerged submarine and do some mortal damage to this battleship, reducing it to 3. Then I'll take my other submarine and dive it so it becomes invulnerable. Alright, I think that's the end of turn 2 for me. Day 2 for Olaf. He combines his battleships into a single battleship with 5 hit points. Moves his healthy tank up and shoots at mine. Actually damages it, gets it to 4 HP. It's not exactly what I like to see. Ooh, I'm almost there. We're almost ready for a max... What is it called? Is it Max Blast or Max Force? Max Force. Alright. Take my submarine and shoot at this battleship, reducing it to 2, I think. Go ahead and just finish off this 5 hit point battleship. My CO power is now ready. Alright, here we go. Who's ready for 87% attack bonus? See if you can handle my best shot! Max Force! Alright, so my 9 hit point tank versus the rocket on the road. 142. Oh boy. There it goes. Sayonara. Take my medium tank down and melt away Olaf's tank down here by the coast, eliminating it from the field of play. I'll use my 7 hit point rockets to soften up this tank, reducing it to 3. And I might be able to kill it with this tank. Yeah, I can. But I'd rather keep this tank alive. Yeah, so I'm going to put my medium tank here and finish off this 3 hit point medium tank on the city. I've got a little bit of defense on the plains. And And yeah, I'll just finish off the 3 hit point tank with my 4 hit point tank. Boom, destroyed. I'll move my artillery down, ensuring that anything that wants to shoot at my rocket or my tank gets severely hurt doing so. Move my mech up to the battle line and take my rear mech and start capturing a city. So since the battleships have a blind spot of fire directly close to them, I'm going to take my lander and just sail it right up next to both battleships so they cannot shoot at it. Day 3 for Olaf. Oh, it's time for a blizzard again. Taking aim at my APC. Oh, reduced it to 1. Oh, he's gonna kill it with his infantry. That's annoying. I wanted to get through the battle with 0 casualties. Alright, day 4. Finish capturing the city here. First order of business is to get rid of this medium tank and not get shot with artillery while doing it. So we'll hit it from either side on the road. It's not ideal, but it's better than getting hit with artillery. Reduce it to 3. Destroyed. Take my 9 hit point tank, put him on the city, shoot at that infantry, reducing it to 3. Go down here and smack this artillery in the face with my 4 hit point tank. Should take it down to like 5. Nope, 7. Leave the indirects where they are. And I'll take my submarine and continue doing mortal damage to Olaf's battleships. Reduce that one to 3. And we'll go ahead and sink this battleship. We'll move the lander a little bit closer to Olaf's HQ, but the only unit he has left is the 3 HP battleship and the 7 hit point artillery. If I put my rocket here, I can actually shoot at his artillery with the rocket, which is pretty funny. Alright. Day 4 for Olaf. Oh, he's gonna scratch the paint on my lander, reducing it to 7 with the battleship. Cool, good job. Good job. Yeah, this battle has gone pretty poorly for Olaf, I gotta say. Finish off his artillery with my medium tank. Finish off his infantry with my rocket. Take my submarine. Finish off that battleship. Should be game. Max says, "How's that? What did you think of that power?" Andy says, "Cool. There's no way I could do that much damage." Max says, "Yeah, that's right." Andy says, "As long as I didn't use my indirect combat units, that is." Max says, "Ooh, you..." Nell says, "That's exactly right. Max doesn't use indirect combat units because he's clumsy." Max says nothing. Nell says, "And your range of fire is small, too. That's life-threatening, isn't it? Max says, "Ha! I'll do just fine without relying on those units." Nell says, "I wonder about that. Anyway, excellent work, Max. Now, you two work together and try to get along." Max says, "You heard the lady. Let's stop fighting and do this, Andy." Andy says, "I think she was talking to you, Max." "That about wraps it up." Ooh, look, a perfect score. S rank. Yeah, that mission is pretty easy. Alright, so I ranked up to Jade Rat, rank 94. On to the save screen. That's gonna wrap it up. Peace.